All right, here's my 2025 trend tier list. This is based solely on how much I fuck with them and like how much damage I think they've done to society. So next trend we have are the $90 homage made in LA baby tees. Now I come from early TikTok when like Nick and Ion Gaff were coming up, with them being like such people for TikTokers and these underground up and coming brands wanting to be like, it almost made a formula and everybody's doing it. I also agree, like sometimes people do too much with these stories. Like, bruh, I don't care. This has to do with your grandma and how it went back to ancient China. Is it cute or not? Like sometimes that's all we need. Overall, I will also give this an A. Next, we have baggy raw selvage denim. Honestly, I think this is like one of the trends that probably have been played the most and have done the most damage to TikTok and the streets. It came from the made in LA baby tees and how that got overdone and overplayed. And I feel like a lot of the people, a lot of the TikTok boys that were really into like archival clothes and Rick Owens and Mason Margiela, people that look at fashion as like a really status thing, really took that into the salvage denim. And like I've been saying with the archival shit, I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if your shirt was made in France in the 1920s and was spun by a spider that was trained for 75 years. I also don't give a fuck that you wore these jeans for the last 175 days and you haven't washed them. I know they smell like ass. I don't give a fuck, bro. I'm glad you guys are like fashion purists now and you have something you're really inspired by. But me, Wesley Lindsay, I don't give a fuck. Next, we have baggy Capris. I like them. I like them. In the summertime, you gonna see me wearing a baggy capri. I don't care. The baggy capri with a baby tee is always gonna hit. Overall, I'm also give this a B. Ooh. Next, we have acid wash distress hoodies. I'm gonna give this a D. This is also a thing where I think that it's cool in theory, but when you look at that price point, I'm gonna have to reconsider. I'm gonna have to reconsider. Ooh, next. Now, this is probably like the trend of all trends in 2025. Labubus. I have to say, Labubus, I'm gonna give them an A. You wanna know why? I feel like Labubus were a litmus test to see how much of a hater you are. Labubus was one of the things in 2025 that got swept into one of the biggest trends where it became really divisive. And at the end of the day, bro, I'm just here to have fun. I'm not the one of the people that are going to spend all my money for a Labubu, but also I'm not one of the people that act like a Labubu is the worst thing in the world. At the end of the day, I think that if you feel really that divisive about Labubus, you're probably just a hater. Overly baggy pants. Oh my God. Oh my God. Since 2022, people have been like, baggy jeans are coming to an end. I really think this trend is gonna burst the bubble of baggy pants because they're just so egregiously bad. There are people that take trends, they make them bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and make it so egregious and they push it too far. It's like, bro, you're corny. So overall, baggy pants, D. You're going down in an earlier round. Next, we have Puma Speed Cats. I like these. Now hold on, wait a minute. I feel like this was going along with like the next iteration of the Adidas Samba and like that really slim, speedy shoe. There was like such a power vacuum after the Adidas Samba. Speed Cats kind of came in, same with the Onitsuka joints. I like them. Overall, I'm gonna give them a C. I don't think they have like the impact and longevity of an Adidas Samba, but I definitely think, you know, people just need some variety and obviously like a slimmer shoe was something that the people wanted. Next trend is true vintage markup. I'm gonna give this a D. I hate y'all. Go find a job. Go find a job. I'm not a fan of thinking y'all can upcharge something about like 200, 300%. I'm sorry, at that point, I don't give a fuck. I feel like if you buy that stuff, you are just gonna hit a lick on. We have a Loafer everything. I'm gonna give this an A. Honestly, just at the end of the day, it depends on the brand that does it. I feel like the Loafer was something that brands identified that consumer wanted, but they didn't know how to execute, or they just didn't really understand the trend and why people wanted it. And they're like, well, we need to have this, so they made it. I feel like the best iteration of this Loafer was the New Balance. Give me a New Balance shoe and make that bitch a Loafer. Done. It looks fire. Some of the worst was like the Jordan, the North Face, and it's kind of crazy to me, like they miss so hard because first of all, these are ugly, but it's like you have the thermoball mules that look like your puffer in a mule. Okay, take your puffer like you did the mule and make that bitch into a loafer. That's all you need to do. But somehow they made this monstrosity. All right, so next trend we're looking at are cropped everything. Now this is going in the S rank for me. And I think one of the best accessories you can have for any fit is to have a banging body, a little slutty little waist. Overall, I just like the silhouette and the proportions that, you know, a cropped top will give you. It gives you a more dynamic upper body and your legs look longer. And right now still the trend is big pants, small tees. So I don't see cropped everything being played until people really start rethinking like what do they want the proportions to be. So I think this is going to last a while. Next trend we're looking at are Vibram 5 fingers. Now I feel like I'm hallucinating. I feel like I'm being gaslit by the community that these are a trend because hey, look, I like them. I think they're cool. I'll give them a C. I'll give them that. But I don't think they were as much of a trend everybody's trying to make them out to be. 5 fingers came from tabby boots. They were for the art house hoes. They were for the New York hoes, like the people that are really stepping out like with their fanciful looks. Everybody has tabbies now. Everybody's been having tabbies since like 2022. And the Vibram 5 fingers are like the Portland eccentric cousin of the tabbies. Next, another thing I'm gonna give an S. Y'all gonna be mad at me, flip-flops. If you're around me in the summer, ooh, you know I was always in a flip-flop. I had the boys out, I had the dogs barking, bruh. And what I liked about this is that they were so easy to pair and they were easy to put on. It's the summertime. I'm here to have fun. I'm hanging with my friends. I'm in the gym. I'm going to work. I'm hanging with my friends. And I don't want a big bulky shoe come next summer. Oh, you know the flip-flops are coming back out. The last trend we have for this video is ironic fashion. Specifically, I'm going to talk about boots only summer and quarter zips. And what I mean about ironic fashion is that these were trends that were like inside jokes to TikTok and to these specific communities, but with brands and people outside of fashion still want to look hip. They saw these and they took the joke seriously. And I'm not gonna lie, boots only summer, I did see some potential in that, and I'm gonna tell you why. Number one was that the Adidas Samba and bloatcore was such a big moment. It seemed natural that people wanted more like bloatcore type shoes to accompany this wardrobe they already built up with the Adidas Samba. And even if you think about early 2010s with people wearing like LeBron basketball shoes that you're supposed to hoop in, they were wearing that with actual fits. And it's very natural that people would take an actual very functional shoe and bridge that into fashion. Quarter zips, that had to be like the biggest firework of a trend there had to be. I'm talking about when I'm going to work and people are asking about quarter zips, I'm like, oh, I need y'all to log out. I need you guys to log out. People online have their jokes, they have their niches, but I think with everybody trying to hop on trends and now they're really understanding the importance of social media, that sometimes people are too quick to pull the trigger and say something's a trend when it really isn't. All right, y'all, that's it. I would love to know your opinion on my 2025 fashion trend tier list. Was there any trend on this list or that was on this list that really resonated with you in 2025? And I would love to know what you will think is going to be popular in 2026. My goal for this year is to be posting constantly on TikTok and giving you guys a new YouTube video every Sunday. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit that like button so I know like what kind of content you guys are feeling. Check out my IG, check out my TikTok because I'm going to be posting there more than I post here. And I'll see you guys next week for another video. Bye.